Sure. We're excited to be moving into this next round of the tournament. I think our team played a gritty game last night, and the Franklin Pierce definitely pushed us, pressured us, and I think it's nice to have that win, have that as a part of our experience as we move through the playoffs, and excited to hit the ice tomorrow.
All right, let's start off with questions for our student athletes.
Yeah, I wonder if just the experience of playing in that building last night helps you for tomorrow and getting time on that ice. I mean, no one likes going into an unfamiliar building and having to play an important game, but having that experience, how does that help you guys?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely different playing on the ice here. Boards are a little bouncier than they are back home, and I think it's important that we got a practice and a game in on that ice and with our fans in the stands, so to prepare us for tomorrow's game. I can't see them out there. The lights are so bright.
It's bright.
You don't really typically play or not play games on a Friday in your college hockey season. Obviously, you have the off day today. What does that look like for you as players, just to try to use that motivation factor despite you not playing a game today?
I think it's nice having a day off in between the two games. Playing back to back, we're used to it, but it's a little hard on the bodies, especially this time of year. So I think having this day off and getting on the ice together today to practice, and then just trying to stay connected and trying to stay in that game mindset to keep us ready for tomorrow.
When you guys look at a weekend like this, obviously far away in Madison, how do you guys feel the Bobcat Nation's traveled out here and supported you guys this weekend?
They've supported us very well. So many parents and friends and family in the stands. It truly means a lot to us just to have their support and hear them cheering us on all game.
I also think we're getting a lot of texts and messages from alumni and friends and athletes on other teams back at Quinnipiac. So I think that the support has followed us out here, but it's still, there's a lot of support back in Hamden as well.
Kaz mentioned the other day that you've been hearing a lot from alumni, even just like in video calls, telling them about their experience in the NCAA tournament. How much has that helped you guys as players to go to this area that you really haven't had that much experience at?
Yeah, I think it means a lot to have alumni reach out and just share some of their experience and give us some advice on what they think we need to do and focus on. So obviously trusted alumni, and we really appreciate them reaching out and sharing their insight.
And it's been nice for me. I played in the NCAA tournament my freshman and sophomore year with some of the alumni that have reached out. So it's nice to have them reconnect with me about those memories and those moments we shared then, and kind of take that with us into this NCAA tournament.
This won't go for any of you guys, but what does it mean to have the opportunity to possibly send your program to its first Frozen Four? What does that mean for the program as well?
Do you want to take it? You want me to? I think it's very special. I mean, this team's been doing great things all year. We went to Ireland. We made history in Lake Placid. So to make history again and taking this team to the first Frozen Four would be unreal and mean the world to us. So I think that that's definitely something in the back of our mind, and we're going to work our hardest tomorrow to make that happen.
What do you think the keys will be for your success tomorrow against Wisconsin?
I think
You go right.
I think just playing our game and focusing on us and the things we do well. I think we're a really good defensive team, so obviously they have a lot of talent on the offense, so I think just sticking to what we do best and being defensively sound and having good habits all around the ice.
Anything else for the student athletes? Thank you both. You guys are good.
Thank you.
Take those drinks.
Second, third, fourth lines and the deep pairs to basically negate that advantage, what might be an advantage for them.
Yeah, this year has been a journey for us. I think that's the case for anyone at this point in the season, but I think for us, we've had a lot of injuries, people in and out of the lineup throughout the season, and older players, and I think it's given some of our younger players real opportunity. You see it, we roll out 2 first years on the PK together, and I think that as we've moved through the playoffs, we certainly got a lot of goals from Kayla Marsh throughout the year, but you get in the playoffs and you see people try to shut her down in a different way, and we've had depth through our lineup. You think of players like Taylor Bruschi, who has just really been there for us, and then Ella Johnson, Peyton Cormier, Laurence Fournette last night, and we tend to get a lot of offense from our defensemen too, and Zoe Ewens with a big power play goal in the ECAC final. So I think that we have that. I think our team believes in that there's so many people on our team that can put the puck in the net, and I think that's going to be important.
Coach, after what Felicia has really done throughout the entire playoffs, how important could she be tomorrow? Obviously, we know how good she is as a goaltender, but she's one of those players where you could really have her put the team on her back in a game like this.
That's what she's going to need to do, without a doubt. I think we're going to need to limit their chances in transition and limit their time and space. It's something that we do well. We need to do it well tomorrow against really, really strong players. But Felicia's been that backbone. She's the type of goalie that's done this before. Not only for us, but when I know I've talked about this before, but when she played for the Swedish U18 national team, they beat Team USA, and she's the reason why. She is that goalie who can have those games, and I'm excited for her to have that opportunity to go play that way tomorrow.
Coach Johnson speaks highly of you. How well do you know Mark, and what do you think about his legacy as far as women's college hockey is concerned?
Well, you saw me smile right away. I think I'm really good friends with Jackie, and I've gotten to know Mark over the years as a result. I always joke that I tend to end up beside him when we're recruiting, and I think it's because I don't talk to him overly too much, and just am in that same space with him and can watch and enjoy the game. But I have so much respect, not just for his playing career, but what he's done as a coach and how he's developed and helped women's hockey. You think about the number of women that have come through his program that have gone on to push this game forward, and it's just amazing, and to see him still loving this and, a part of it at this point, it's just awesome for our game. So he's a great person, and I'm happy to have him as a friend.
You kind of touched on it when we talked to you on Wednesday, but you had pushed to Placid, and now you've completed that goal, and now it's the surge to State College. Can you just touch on that a little bit and how important it is to have that?
Yeah, we needed to shift our mental focus because, as you know, the push to Placid was a year-long push, and we were celebrating little things on the ice, off the ice, things about our culture every week, and we don't have that luxury now. It is fast and furious, and we really want to be in a mindset that every play matters. It's something we always care about, but it's something different at this point. There's no luxury to worry about a play that maybe didn't go the right way. You got to move right on to the next one, be where your feet are in the moment, and the girls have really jumped into this surge to State College. They've been yelling, "Start the surge!" It's a fun one, and I like alliteration, so that always makes it a little fun. But it's something that this group wants. They want it so badly to be that first team from Quinnipiac to play in the Frozen Four, and we might do it, we might not do it. But what I can tell you is they're gonna go at it together, and they're gonna do everything in their power to win this hockey game tomorrow.
Cash, you look at road weekends during the entire season. It feels like you guys have played so many ranked teams on the road. Obviously, in a historic barn like Wisconsin, what's kind of your guys' mindset now being still on the road throughout this entire kind of playoff run that you guys have had?
Yeah, I think it's just keeping with our routine and being who we are. This team wants every moment to be together. I think they're savoring the opportunity to keep playing another game, and they keep talking about that, especially our seniors. So I don't think it matters where we're playing at this point. We just want to be together and we want to play.
Coach, looking specifically at Wisconsin, what challenges do you see them presenting to your team, and what are your keys to the game tomorrow?
I mean, they clearly just have such offensive depth, and they get depth from the back end too. So I think for us, we're going to need to really pressure and not be intimidated, and really look to limit their time and space and be an opportunistic offensive hockey team. We've done it before. I think we really need to be in a place where we're committed to playing our game and not intimidated by what they can accomplish offensively. And I think that will help us as we look to win.
We've been in this position a few times in the last couple of years, you know, playing Thursday, not before a true road game on Saturday. Is there anything you learned from those experiences that you changed up for this year or look to do differently going into being ready for a Saturday afternoon game?
I'm laughing because I didn't think about it, but win in regulation, you know, like it's really hard when you go into overtime in those games. And no, I think there's some things we've done that really helped us to prepare and compete. You know, it's so fresh in my mind that we went to double overtime with Ohio State, and that yes, they outshot us, but we hit a post in overtime that could have gone in the net and it could have been our game. So we were so close, you know. So I think it's just making sure that we're taking care of the people we need to take care of, and you know, making sure that people get the rest that they need and the recovery that they need as we get ready for tomorrow.
Guys, I know I asked you earlier in the week about unfamiliarity coming into the Franklin Pierce game, but now against the Wisconsin team, that is a very daunting task. Do you feel like their unfamiliarity with you is something that could possibly give your team an edge?
Perhaps, you know, I do think having played them, you know, I guess it was 3 years ago now, like there is a bit of familiarity. There are some players on both teams that have competed against one another, and everything's on video these days, so we get familiar quickly, you know, and I think that they'll be ready for us as much as we're going to be ready for them.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I wonder if you can just kind of give us what you took away from watching that game last night. What do you feel like, how you feel like you guys match up with Quinnipiac?
Yeah, it was fun. It's all part of the experience coming in, getting to watch who you're going to be facing come Saturday. But yeah, it was exciting to have all the girls together. I mean, great game. It was pretty even for a bit. Obviously, 0-0 for a long time, and then they got a little edge and got ahead of them, and then finished out 4-0. But yeah, it was exciting to watch and know what to expect, and we'll be ready to combat that tomorrow.
Was sitting there any different than past years? Felt like there were maybe a few more kids fans kind of coming up the fanfare over the last few weeks than maybe in past years.
I feel like it felt, I guess, pretty similar. It's always nice to have you see some old faces too, and they come up and okay.
They're super passionate and just invested, so it's nice to have that community. And yeah, it's a special thing, and we love seeing them and interacting and talking to them.
Kelly, what do you feel like your line, and maybe you specifically, can do tomorrow to dictate and play the way you want to play? What are the keys there?
Yeah, I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I do think that we'll be able to really work with work them down low, and our rink is a little bit bigger than most, and so I really think that we can use the behind the net and pop in pucks out to the slots, and I think that's really gone really well for us, and I think we can just kind of continue to do that, but be heavy on the forecheck and use our size and strength to our advantage.
Last time that Wisconsin took on Quinnipiac, obviously it was in hand, and how different would you see that the atmosphere is going to be now that you guys have home crowd advantage this time around?
Well, I love playing. I didn't play in the last game when I was at Quinnipiac, but I love playing at LeBon. It's the best rink to play at, and we know it's already sold out. It's sold out really quickly, and so it's going to be loud. It's going to be exciting, and I think we'll be able to feed off the energy from the crowd.
I guess kind of following up on that, I know it's obviously special to have it in this kind of stage and to do it for a second consecutive year. This goes for either of you, but how special is it to do it together and to have the chance to go back to back?
Yeah, it's super special. I mean, we got a really special group again this year, and to get it done would mean the world. I mean, we're working towards that right now, taking one game at a time, period by period. But yeah, we're excited, and we got the group to do it, and that's what we're setting out to do.
Quinnipiac now only has 1 day of rest heading tomorrow. Well, this is going to be your guys' first game of the weekend. How much do you feel like you guys having that extra rest is going to play in tomorrow's game?
I don't really know. I guess I think we do a really great job of recovering from practices and from games, and so I think I'm sure Quinnipiac is also doing the same and having the rest day to kind of reset. So I don't think it'll play probably too much of a factor, but I know we're ready to go.
Kelly Caroline getting the Patty Cast top 3 nod again. I'm wondering, with you having a couple years experience trying to navigate around her in practice, what is it that, makes her deserving of an honor like that?
Oh, well, how much time do I have? But, yeah, no, going against her every day in practice, from day one, I was like, okay, this kid's something special. So, she shuts me down all the time, but, it's also she's just a great person. Obviously, we all see how great she is on the ice and how fast and deceptive and talented she is, and she's just able to make plays out of nothing. And but just off the ice, she's our captain, she's our leader, and we all follow her. And she sets the pace car, and just working every day at the rink. When no one's looking, she's out there getting better and just trying to help our team be the best we can.
Caroline, obviously you played in your fair share of big games, obviously this year at the Olympics. How do you use that experience that you've had to fuel your fuel your game in tomorrow's atmosphere?
Yeah, we know there'll be a lot of noise, tons of support, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just calming it down. For me, I try to be just a calm demeanor on our bench, try to instill confidence, and just remind everyone we got it. And no matter if we go down, we're up. Just keeping that same mindset, never too high, never too low. So I feel like no matter what big game you're in or whatever game it is, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself or too low. Just staying in that middle ground.
Kenny, we all knew going back to September and before that this year was going to be different, and there were going to be different challenges. What kind of challenges came up for you in leading this team that maybe you didn't expect, or has it been kind of a smooth ride for you?
Yeah, we knew what we were getting into this year with leaving, coming back, and the Olympics and whatnot. But these girls did a tremendous job. Kelly's been a great leader this year, but then obviously when we were gone, they stepped it up even more, elevated the group to another level, and just kept it going. Yeah, I'm super proud of them. And just joining back, it was easy. They had steered the ship in the right direction, just kept the wins coming, kept the solid teamwork, kept the group together. So it was easy to get back into that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now take questions for Coach.
Mark, I know you hate distractions, and this is the time of year when the distractions kind of really start to ramp up. What is the way you keep focus throughout the week, the month ahead?
Well, I mean, this, the position, both teams are in for Saturday's game is that you're just focused on, what you're going to be able to do depending on your position, as the head coach and with Jackie and Dan and our support staff, what can we do to, give our team the best opportunity to win, how do we prepare them? We spent since early September together. We are what we are, and you're not going to make too many big changes in what your approach is. So you go about your daily business, and our week's been no different than our weeks were in October, November. And the mindset is, get yourself ready to play. And collectively, if you do that as a group and you go out and play up to your capabilities, that's what you're looking for. And then the score is going to be the score. So the big thing is to get yourself mentally ready. There's going to be a lot of energy in the building. We're accustomed to that. We see it every weekend when we play at home. So that should get us as a team excited to go out and play, because it'll be our last opportunity to play in front of our home fans, and for our seniors, it'll be their last opportunity to experience that.
How'd you come to the decision that, at least for this week, Layla's best spot for you is at forward?
Well, just what she's done in the past. Early part of the season, we had her in both positions. She missed some games due to injury, and the setting we have here at Wisconsin is a different setting than the national team and the Olympic team have with their group. And so, in the best interest of what we want to try to do, we'll give her an opportunity up front tomorrow, similar to some of the games we played, especially before Christmas time, and her in that position. So we've had long conversations, the last 6 or 7 months about, going back and forth, and she wants to do whatever is in the best interest of the team. And so, you look at her body of work over the last 4 years here. When she's on the ice and she's playing up to her capability, she's a factor in the game. And so they just think that, tomorrow we'll start in that, that role, and we'll see how the game, transpires and looks.
Back.
Coach, I know KK touched on it a little bit, but excuse me, with your success at LeBron Arena, especially throughout the season and now in the postseason, to have the chance to go back to back again and do it at LeBron Arena first, how special in your eyes has it been to play at LeBron in front of this home crowd?
Yeah, it's been a great relationship between our players and our fans, and the last part of the season, this past year, it's been exciting. I mean, our games against Bemidji, against St. Cloud, there was a lot of energy in the building. The band was there, and so whether you're the home team or the visiting team, it's a really exciting place to play. I mean, everybody gets fired up, everybody gets excited. The games are entertaining, and I think that's one of the main reasons people have come out and watched. Especially the last 10 or 12 years. I mean, we've got a lot of elite players in our league. Some of our non-conference games provides the same opportunity for fans to see some of the elite players in college hockey on the women's side. And best part, the ticket prices are pretty good too. So it's a pretty good deal. And again, the group that we've had this year, and no different than our past years, the kids get out in the community. We put on different clinics, we go to hospitals, we go to Ronald McDonald's, they go to schools and read books to young kids. And so, the development within our organization has been strong for a long time, and the credit goes to the players because they're willing to do that, and then they train, they work hard, they put a good product on the ice, and so it's been a lot of fun. It'll be no different Saturdays to get an opportunity for our seniors and for the rest of us to play our last home game in our building. They've earned the right to do that, so it's going to be exciting and fun for everybody.
Maybe the last time that these two programs have met up, obviously a couple of years ago in Hamden, how would you say that both programs have transformed into college hockey kind of powerhouses throughout the last couple of years?
Well, I mean, got a lot of respect for Quinnipiac staff. They do a great job. They obviously get kids in there that bode well for their culture, and they got a great setup. They got a wonderful rink. They got a good locker room. They got a good weight room, and so they do a great job of really creating an atmosphere where they give their team an opportunity to win. And, the personnel they had a few years ago when we played them out there is much different than both teams have right now. So it comes down to who can make plays when they need to make plays, who can make saves when they need to make saves, who can capitalize on the other team's mistakes, and whoever handles that the best is probably going to be at the end the team that's going to be hoisting the regional trophy. So both teams have earned the right to be here. They've had great seasons, and it comes down to one game. One team gets to move on, the other team their season's going to end. So that's what makes it exciting. That's why we call it March Madness, and we're in this position. We've only got 8 teams left in women's hockey, and after tomorrow we'll be down to 4.
Well, it's not every year that you have 5 of your players go off to the Olympics. You face a lot of adversity with a couple injuries. If you were to just describe how proud you are of this group, how would you put that?
It's been an interesting year, for the players, for our support staff, and challenging for the coaching staff because of all the different things that have gone on. Unlike any other year, this is the first year that Canada and the U.S. haven't centralized their teams, and so, for us in the college ranks that had players that were involved as part of those programs, it just became challenging. We knew what was in front of us, but you still have to go through that. So in September when they left for a week, in October they left for a week, in November they left for a week, in December they left for a week, and then they left for 4 weeks, to get ready for the Olympics. As KK mentioned, the kids that were behind, and they really became a team within a team, if that makes any sense. But they were able to carry the torch through that 4 weekends of games, and gave us an opportunity to win our league. And as I mentioned before, that's a real challenging and difficult trophy for anybody to win, and to get to the finish line and be on top. You give the players a lot of credit because they're the ones that have to go through it. You know, we give them an opportunity to be successful, hopefully, and then it's up to them individually and collectively as a group, whether it was when we were whole and all of a sudden, you know, Sims is hurt for a couple of weeks and Layla's not playing for a couple of weeks, you know, the next player has to step up. And we as coaches, we always talk about that, but then you have to go through it. And this team, you know, we're really proud of a lot of different things and a lot of things behind the scene that have gone on. And yet they've been able to keep their heads up high. They've come on the ice and, you know, for the most part, has played every game, giving us an opportunity to win. And different kids have stepped up. Different kids have scored big goals. Raya came in and played 8 really strong games for us, gave us a chance to win. You reflect on the season, and hopefully we're not done yet after tomorrow, but you know, we'll find out tomorrow at about 3 o'clock. But again, your body of work has been very solid, very consistent, and you know, as a staff, we're very proud of the way the team's conducted themselves this season.
Numbers and faceoffs have been in the negative the last few games, which is unusual for you guys. I wonder how much can you get into that? Is that just the bounces haven't gone your way, or is that something you think can be better for tomorrow and increase that puck possession that I know you like to have?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's a little detail at this time of the year that becomes vital. And so, you know, in our last game, we weren't very good, especially in the first half of the game. And as we mentioned before, so if you're not at a high percentage or even in a 50-50 percentage, you're chasing the puck more than you want to. And so things you'll look at, and then again, you know, can you get better in that space? Obviously, Ohio State's one of the better teams with face-offs, and they're always challenging, and you know, they got the better half of it last Saturday. And you look at some things, you practice some things, and hopefully, you know, in the game tomorrow, we'll get better in that space.
Coach, you just had Coach Cass Turner here talking about your relationship between you and her. Obviously, you guys aren't very close. You don't really play each other that much, but how's that relationship been with Coach? And obviously, she mentioned how you kind of find yourself on the recruiting trails in the same place.
Yeah, I mean, when you're out recruiting and, you know, doing what we do, you know, it's like anything in life. You're comfortable around different people, and you develop friendships within the core of women's hockey, whether they're assistant coaches, director of ops, assistant coaches. You know, you find relationships and you find friendships with people that you may not see a lot during the winter. You might see them in our springs meetings in Florida. You might see them, you know, 4 or 5 times. And some people are easy to talk to. Some people are more challenging to talk to. That's part of it. And you know, I think Jackie's got a real strong relationship with her. Brent, I've got a real strong relationship with him. And so it's fun to be around people. And you know, we'll beat heads against each other tomorrow between 1 and 3. But before the game and after the game, you know, we're still people, we're still friends, and then we're going to compete against each other, and you know, the best team's going to end up winning, and then we'll still continue to be friends. And it's fun to run into people and get to know people and be in that same space and know whether I'm in Buffalo recruiting or in Canada recruiting, and you happen to see somebody like Cassie or Brent, you know, it's a cup of coffee, a conversation, and generally it's not about hockey, it's about other things in life.
So last question. You look at the goaltending matchups throughout the entire, obviously Felicia Frank has been very good for Quinnipiac, but how key do you think goaltending is going to be in tomorrow's matchup?
Well, from here on, it's going to be crucial. I mean, you know, if you find a goaltender, you know, a week from Sunday, and the team that won, she probably had 3 or 4 pretty good games in a row, because that's the fun part about our business. I mean, you can outplay a team, you can outchance a team, but you might not outscore them because the other team's goaltender just was really good that afternoon or that evening. You've been around a long time, you've seen probably a lot of hockey, you've seen that happen, so it's an important position in our sport. And if somebody decides that, you know, from this point forward to play 3 solid games, 9 periods, and give their team a chance to win, they might be holding the national trophy a week from Sunday. So it's an important position, and it's vital. You know, their goaltenders obviously had a strong year, played in all their games, and it's given them a chance to win. Our goaltender, you know, she was gone for a month, but, you know, had a real strong performance, against Ohio State last Saturday, so I think she's in a comfortable spot right now as we get ready for tomorrow's game. But yeah, it's the biggest position in our sport. You can have the most impact on either the winning team or